Hi everyone, it's Saturday, April 11th, 2020, and I have a letter here from Julia Poff, who's going to write a book about her nightmare of incarceration. And Rudy asked her why she pled guilty. He said, "Hello, Julia. This is April 3rd. Can you please elaborate on why you pled guilty? I have to battle a team of devils that attempt to slander and defame every prisoner which is mentioned on our website. These devils will simply point to your guilty plea. Can you please tell me why you pled guilty? In Christ Jesus, Rudy Davis." And she replied, "Hi there, I understand. I was forced to plead guilty. They were denying me visits with my family after they arrested my husband. I was denied seeing him for 13 weeks, and the judge even wrote on his order that he could still see his wife, but they wouldn't let me. And then 2 days before I pled, I told them again I was going to reject the plea deal, and within 30 minutes of saying that, he was added back to my visitation list. They told me I would sit in detention, which was worse than where I am now, until I pled to something. I have major health issues, lupus, and now a complication called Raynaud's syndrome, which is causing me the possibility of losing 3 fingers on my left hand and 2 on my right. And they were continuing to increase my charges. They started with 6 and then it went up to 13, and threatening my family, including my children, who are all young adults, with prison as well. They also threatened my best friend's family, so another innocent family was about to be put through the hell I have been. I cried and prayed while I pled guilty, asking for God's forgiveness over the lies I was about to tell and to give me the strength to get the words out of my mouth. It was the hardest thing I have ever had to do. My attorneys also told me that according to the sentencing guidelines, I was looking at 15 to 21 years on the range, and at the most, that was 46 months, in which I had already done almost 24 months. So with the additional First Step Act credit, I had done over 240 hours of classes, plus a new diploma in private investigation that I would receive time served and go home. They weren't going to take the case to trial because it was too much of a 50-50. That is why they kept resetting it every time we got close to trial. It was going to be 60 people who claim I was the worst person on earth versus my 60 who said I was a good person. There's no evidence, so it wasn't going to be over that, and what evidence they were going to produce was fraud that the government created itself. They made a video I've never seen but heard about after I pled guilty to a charge I should have never even been charged with. They claimed that the video was an imitation of the device sent to Abbott. They put it on a table and opened it, showing a big fireball, which is how my guilty plea of transportation of explosives with the intent to kill, injure, or intimidate cross-reference with attempted murder. However, there are expert reports that say this was not an explosive device, and the matches were safety matches and would never have ignited due solely to contact with sandpaper. So it doesn't meet the definition of an IED, improvised explosive device, as they claimed. From the expert reports, if I should have been charged with anything, then it should have been either A, threat to the president, 18 U.S.C. 871, or hoax bomb, which is 18 U.S.C. 1038, both of which are a 60-month maximum. Again, my number would have been low enough to get time served, but the maximum she could have gone under the statute would have been 60 months. I will keep fighting all the way if that is what it takes. I wish you could read my habeas corpus or my writ of mandamus. If I can get to the library and make a copy of it, then I will see about mailing a copy to you. But right now, we are on lockdown pretty much. I'm expecting an answer to the mandamus any day now from the Court of Appeals. I called last Monday and the clerk said the judges are still working from their homes and trying to reduce some of the paper cases. It will be 60 days on Monday since it was filed, and this is supposed to be a quick turnaround document. My habeas corpus was filed in November 2018 and is still pending as well. I did receive an order on a motion filed about it last week. It was a denial for a default judgment, but I was expecting it. The judge had ordered the respondent, the warden, and 2 other people to answer it, and they had 60 days to do so, and when no answer came in, I filed for a default. Well, it turned out that the U.S. attorney never received proper service, so in August they were given another 60 days to file a response, and they did so around the middle of September. I filed a motion for summary judgment in October in response, and now waiting on a ruling on it, and it's been over 150 days on it. So hopefully with all of this virus stuff, that judge is also working on this case and trying to eliminate it, since it's almost 2 years old. I have also filed a motion to transfer back to Houston because if he calls an evidentiary hearing, one, he has to appoint me another attorney to represent me, and I need to be able to meet with them to discuss and have contact with the court. I also learned that my appellate brief is due on Monday as well, and I haven't never even met my appellate attorney, so I have no idea what she is filing on. I hope this answers your questions. If you have any more, please feel free to ask. I also sent you an email about doing an interview, so that is still an option to do. So let me know if you would want to do that, and I will set it up. God bless, Julia Poff. And then Rudy replied, "Hello, Julia. Can you please elaborate on why you pled guilty? I have to battle." Oh, it looks like, oh, okay, here we go. Oh, she replied again on 3/27, that's March 27th, 2020, and wrote, "Thank you for sending me the emails that you did. I don't know if you have taken the time to read my story or my case information or not, but here is my story. My husband and I have been married for 24 years and have lived our lives by Matthew 25:35, which I cited to Judge Gilmore at my sentencing and was called a living monster because of it. We have had over 20 plus people live with us throughout the years. They were drug addicts, alcoholics, homeless, or just needed a temporary place to get back on their feet. When my husband got paid on Fridays, I usually hit the stores first and bought up discontinued sandwiches before they threw them out and drove around passing them out to the homeless. I would post messages and collect donations to help others out. I did what I could to be a Christian and show love for others. I also used my law degree, paralegal, to help others out with documents and small legal matters that didn't require an attorney for a fraction of the cost. I always felt bad charging anything for my services, but I do have a family of my own, so a small fee was needed to compensate for my time. I filed a lawsuit against my landlord starting in January 2016 because he took our money for a house and continued to lock us out. This went on for several months and we continued going to court. I represented myself, so my legal fees were minimum, whereas he hired an attorney to continue fighting the cases, so he was having to pay out money. In April, I filed a motion case against him and he totally ignored it. So in June, we received a $304,000 judgment against him. He almost missed the deadline to challenge it, but filed all kinds of emergency motions and got it reversed. But of course, I appealed it. The end of July, he received an illegal eviction against us. and took possession of the house. It was then that he used our trash to set me up. At the end of September, I filed a new case against him for $500,000 in damages for the slander that he was using against me. He was saying horrible false statements against us. He was served and then put his plan into action. We went to the lake the first weekend of October while he and his partner were building fake potential explosive devices using our trash and mailed them off that weekend. One went to the governor of Texas, one went to the former president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, and the other to the acting commissioner of Social Security. We had no clue what had been done, so when the FBI raided our home the first time on October 7, 2016, we didn't know anything, and you would have thought it was a scene out of the movies to see over 150 law enforcement officers storm your house at 9:30 on a Friday night. My family and I have been severely traumatized over this whole ordeal. They found nothing, capitals, in our home to link us. As they were returning stuff to us, they even told us, "We know y'all had nothing to do with this, but we have to get a conviction or we lose our job." So for 13 months, my family was constantly harassed and tormented. My arrest came on November 9th, 2017, over a year later. There's no evidence linking me to this, and I was fighting it. My husband is right beside me and has been threatened and arrested as well to show me further punishment. After forcing me to plead guilty, we discovered the fraud and perjury on the prosecutor's side, so I have now filed documents for my immediate release and a dismissal of all my charges. My husband's were dismissed as soon as I was sentenced. I pled under one charge, but I was sentenced under attempted murder based on fraud and given 10 years, which was the maximum under my plea agreement. At sentencing, we also learned that the only 2 letters received by the government were from the landlords themselves. In them, it is mentioned that he was called by the U.S. Marshals and told him what I had done. Okay, for starters, a U.S. Marshal is not going to call anyone during an ongoing investigation, and why him? Then, in the second letter, he claims that the same marshal sent him pictures of the device. Again, no one would be sending email pictures or text messages of evidence to anyone in an open investigation. So he had pictures before the FBI got to his house to investigate him? How is that possible unless he had something to do with it? There are so many unanswered questions about my case, and I'm writing my book, Injustice, that I will publish once I'm released. I hope someone can figure out the answers to. Please keep me and my family in your thoughts and prayers as well, and I will keep you updated on my case as well. As to the others that you have mentioned, I have added them to my prayer list and will continue to pray for their deliverance as well. God bless Julia Poff. And she just looks like a good Christian woman. I mean, reading that, there's definitely possible, what is it called? I'm tired, I'm sorry. A lot of letters tonight. Something of doubt. Reasonable doubt. Okay, God bless her, and this is just a comment from under her post. God bless her and all the prisoners. I believe her. I know how corrupt the system is. Never knew it until I had to go through it. But these psychos running the legal and judicial system are headed straight to hell. They have no mercy, and God will show them none. His wrath is coming. Amen, sister. Okay, so anyway, she replied. We got this letter here dated 4/1/20, so that was probably our first and last letter from her. It says, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, hi there, thanks for your letter. You know, as an inmate, our favorite time of the day is mail call. Since my arrest, I have been denied mail from family and friends. so my name is only called out when I receive court mail or Christian mail. When I was in Houston, I had 2 pen pals from Church of Christ in Magnolia that I enjoyed writing, but for some reason stopped after I was forced to plead guilty. I'm not sure why. The other one I receive encouraging letters from is Crossroads Prison Ministries, as I am completing the Bible study courses. In your letter, you asked me some questions, so I'm going to take the time now to address each one of them. Another inmate, Shirley, I think, had one of Schaefer's business cards that she showed to me, and I copied down the information from it. Yes, I'm a follower of Christ. I was raised Catholic, but since I got arrested for something I didn't do, I have focused directly on the Bible and not so much of my, quote, religion. I have a New International Bible that I received as a gift for completing the Bible study program at the American Bible Academy. I'm only allowed one. Well, it shouldn't be the New International Bible, but if somebody wants to send her a real Bible, that would be great because I'm not allowed to. Or maybe I can, but Rudy can't. Anyway, I'll figure it out. My birthday is July 30th, 1971, so she's 49 years old. So I will be 49, and if not home by then, will be my third one falsely imprisoned. So she's been in there 3 years. My arrest date was November 9th, 2017 at my home around 7:30 at night. Today, I have been unconstitutionally detained for 872 days or 28 months. I was forced to plead guilty on July 1st, 2019 to 18 U.S.C. 844D, transportation of explosives with the intent to kill, injure, or intimidate. Yes, even though I was forced to plead guilty and cried, begging God for his forgiveness the whole time, I still maintain my innocence and will continue doing so. My family does support me. They know the truth. I have 3 daughters and 2 sons, along with both my parents that I stay in contact with. I have one faithful friend who has stayed by my side and emails me. My other friends were threatened and don't want to be involved, but know that I am innocent as well. I am writing a book called Injustice, which will tell my story and present the facts, and then people can form their own opinions until the book comes out. I invite any and all questions. I will always be honest and try to answer them the best to my knowledge. However, in my case, there are a lot of unanswered questions that I don't even know the answer to, since I have never seen the so-called evidence or discovery. And this is Aaron here. Just wanted to say that plea deals eliminate the discovery from the inmates. So never take a plea deal if you want to see discovery, because this discovery is what will prove your innocence. Schaefer Cox didn't take a plea deal, and his discovery is on gigabytes of hard drive. We went through it and found all the exculpatory evidence. So never take a plea deal if you want to see your discovery. A plea deal just excuses or hides the illegal activities of the crime syndicate, the pirates, the road pirates, and these bad people. Yes, I would be happy to call you or even do a video call with an interview with you. I'm sure once I am released, I will be contacted by the media, since my case has been international news. Yes, I have email here and invite anyone wishing to communicate with me to pass on their information to you, and I will add them on my list. What do I need? My husband, William, of 24 years, fully supports me. However, he hasn't figured out how to send me magazines or books, so either one of those would be greatly appreciated. One of the this is Erin again. One of the magazines I would like someone to send her if they're interested or so led is The New American. I bet you she would like that because she's a Christian and she is interested in the law and God's law, and that's a great publication, The New American. It's by the John Birch Society. I think it would be great if all the prisoners got that subscription or, yeah. So, books or magazines, because her husband can't figure out how to do it. One of those would be greatly appreciated. My prized possession that has helped me make it through these times I wanted to give up and end it all is Max, through the times I wanted to give up, is Max Lucado's book, You'll Get Through This When Things Get Tough. I pull it out and find a chapter to meditate on. I have read close to 500 novels, and some of my favorite authors are Nora Roberts, James Patterson, Stuart Woods, and Catherine Coulter, Coulter, Coulter. I like reading murder mysteries and, of course, Christian books. I really enjoyed the Left Behind series. Oh dear. I am going to look in my legal locker tomorrow and see what copies I have that I can send you. We are on lockdown now, so I'm unable to make some copies of anything right now. Aaron's note, I don't know how these people are supposed to stay behind bars and not use the legal library. I mean, that sounds like a right there that's being trampled on, because in lockdown I think they might get out for an hour to shower. And they get peanut butter sandwiches, and they get frozen meat sandwiches, and they get some kind of powder to mix with their brown water in their cells on this lockdown. So if you think your lockdown is bad, just imagine being a prisoner. And let me say this, not enough people cared about innocent people behind bars, so here we go. This is God's judgment, in my opinion, but who am I to say? I don't know, I'm just guessing. After being illegally locked out our rental home for 41 days, a lawsuit battle with my landlord began. After receiving a $304,000 judgment against him, he got an illegal eviction against us and forced us to move in 24 hours. Using the trash left behind, an empty cigarette package, a Walmart bag, an old cell phone, and empty boxes, he sent 3 potentially explosive packages to Abbott, Obama, and Carolyn Colvin, acting commissioner of Social Security Administration. Unlike the government wants people to know, these were never a danger to anyone because he used safety matches which will not strike against sandpaper. These were designed only to hurt my family and keep me from continuing to file lawsuits against him. After 13 months, I was indicted and arrested on the crime. 13 months. It is now believed that a fraudulent video led to my indictment, and the whole case has been based on fraud, perjury, and threats. While maintaining my innocence, I was punished by not being able to receive mail, including cards and letters from my family, harassment and blackmail attempts of family and friends, denial of medical care, forced to go without my lupus medication for 315 days. Oh my God. Denial of constitutional rights like speedy trial and right to a fair trial, and denial of visitation with my husband for 12 weeks. That's 3 months, people. I was forced to plead to 1 count on July 1st, 2019. I was told by pleading I would get time served and go home. At sentencing, I was sentenced under a different crime that I did not plead to. There you go. I've heard this before many times. people are being sentenced under different crimes that they don't plead to and are not found guilty of. It was also discovered that what I pled to I should have never been charged with. So now I continue to maintain my innocence, continue fighting for a dismissal of my charges, serve my God from behind these walls, and write my book. The words I have spoken since day one of this craziness, John 8:32. The truth shall set me free. Yeah, that's not King James, but yeah. When I get home, I plan on setting up a website to go along with my book titled something like injustice.com or something along those lines. My family doesn't know how to set up a website. I had a group of 2,000 plus on Facebook called Help with Fibromyalgia, and I will also set up a Facebook page called the same. So if you want to create a card for me, that would be a title you can use. I greatly appreciate everything you and your wife are doing for us. We need to build an army to get the message out, and I plan on speaking about all of this once I'm released. We do need prison reform, but more important than that, we need justice reform and go back to the principles established under our United States Constitution. Now, my question to you is, how can I or my family help you? I continue to pray for all of our deliverance each and every day. I keep a daily journal each and every day that I write in that will present like a diary in my book and remind me of how the little things each day that were important enough to write down. It's not easy being here, but I know in time I will be released, and in the meantime, I have to keep my faith and trust in my God. God bless you always, Julia Poff. Wow, that was a really good letter, and she writes really well. She's a great pen pal. Mail call is very important to prisoners, so please write to her and just share some scripture and some uplifting words. Just them getting their name called at mail call means a lot to them, like she said, and I always try to remind people. I think this has inspired me to sit down and get my stationery out. I like to use nice stationery, but most of these prisoners are only allowed to receive black and white paper or white paper with blue ink or something stupid like that. When we all know that it's the guards that bring the drugs in, it's not in the mail. Anyway, let's get CCTV cameras in every courtroom. They can put them on lampposts for red light tickets. We need them in our justice system to repair it, so that people on the camera know that they are not going to get away with all this nonsense. And remember, jury nullification. It's the last line of peaceful defense between a tyrannical government, which we have, and the defendant. It's FIJA.org. That's FIJA.org. They're a great organization to learn more about jury nullification. And Jury Hero is another good one for people who want to learn about the same thing, jury nullification. Be a superhero and save someone's life from this tyrannical government and this absolute nightmare that rips families to shreds. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having a heart that cares. And please keep these innocent prisoners in your prayers. And if I could turn this off, it would be really great. Oh, I think I found it. This iPhone. I don't know how to turn it off. I really couldn't tell you how to turn it off. Oh, boy. Oh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is the worst phone.